My sister's fake pregnancy scam to steal my $800,000 house. When my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer, he pulled me aside and whispered something I'll never forget. They'll come for the house. They always wanted it more than they ever wanted us. At the time, I thought the cancer was making him paranoid. I was wrong. My father built our family's construction company from nothing. Starting with just a pickup truck and some tools, he grew it into a multi-million-dollar business. But his real pride was our house, a 5,000-square-foot mansion he designed and partly built himself. Every detail, from the custom kitchen to the secret compartments in his study, was crafted with purpose. My mother never forgave him for leaving the house to me in his will. She'd been planning her revenge since their divorce 15 years ago, when she left him for her personal trainer. The judge had laughed her out of court when she demanded 70% of everything, claiming she inspired my father's success. My sister was always her mini-me. Growing up, I watched her learn our mother's tricks, the fake injuries for insurance claims, the crocodile tears to get out of trouble, the manipulation. By 18, she'd perfected her own specialty, fake pregnancy scams on ex-boyfriends. But social media gave her an even bigger stage. She became what she called a lifestyle influencer, building a following of 200,000 by posting staged photos in other people's luxury homes and wearing borrowed designer clothes she never returned. Her specialty was emotional storytelling, fake cancer scares, made-up stalker stories, and of course, multiple miracle pregnancies that mysteriously never resulted in babies. Dad knew they were dangerous together. 3 months before cancer took him, he showed me something in his study: hidden cameras, document safes, and detailed records of every scam my mother had attempted over the years. "They've been asking about my will," he said. "Your mother's been calling my doctors, trying to access my medical records. She even sent a fake power of attorney to my bank." He left me a sealed letter with strict instructions. Open this only when they make their move. But I didn't have to wait long. Dad passed away on a Friday. By Monday, my sister's Instagram was exploding with hints about a life-changing surprise. Her posts started featuring baby clothes, ultrasound pictures, and tearful stories about twins being a double blessing. Her followers were ecstatic. Sponsorship offers poured in: baby clothing brands, pregnancy vitamins, stretch mark creams. She was building an entire brand around her miracle twin pregnancy. The same week, she launched a GoFundMe for her high-risk twin pregnancy journey. She claimed she needed $50,000 for special medical treatments. Her followers donated $27,000 in just 2 days. What they didn't know was that she'd pulled this exact scam 3 times before, under different aliases. I discovered this because my father had hired a private investigator to track her social media scams. The PI's report was in the study safe. Detailed evidence of her fake cancer fundraiser in 2019, $43,000 raised, her fictional stalker story in 2020, sponsored by a security company, and her previous miracle pregnancy in 2021, which mysteriously disappeared when her then-boyfriend demanded a paternity test. Then the house tours started. I was working in my home office when the first couple arrived. They walked into my yard with a real estate agent I'd never seen, discussing where they'd put their hot tub. When I confronted them, they showed me their deposit receipt: $50,000, paid to my mother for first rights to purchase. An hour later, another couple arrived. Different agent, same story. They'd paid $60,000. The third couple had paid $75,000. They all had the same documents, copies of a power of attorney claiming I was mentally incompetent after my father's death, with my mother as my legal guardian. They had official letters from my father's lawyer, who had actually retired years ago, confirming the sale was prearranged before Dad's death. But the real show started when my mother arrived, with my sister and a professional camera crew. "We're filming for my daughter's home renovation series," my mother announced to the bewildered neighbors. My sister was live streaming to her followers, showing off her new house and discussing nursery plans. "The twins need a proper family home," she kept saying, rubbing her supposedly pregnant belly. "My selfish brother has to understand that family comes first." I opened my father's letter. "Son," it read, "if you're reading this, they're trying to take the house. But I've been preparing for this day for years. In the floor safe under my desk, you'll find everything you need." The safe contained a gold mine. My father had documented every scam my mother had run since their divorce. There were court records showing fraud charges under 3 different names, insurance scam evidence, property fraud documents. She'd done this before, repeatedly, in multiple states. Most shocking were the USB drives containing recorded conversations between my mother and sister, planning this exact scenario. They discussed forging documents, collecting multiple deposits, and using my sister's social media influence to pressure me publicly. While I reviewed these files, the circus outside reached new levels. My mother had convinced a local lifestyle magazine to cover my sister's celebrity home renovation series. A photographer was taking shots of my sister posing in front of MY House while she gave an emotional interview about transforming her family estate into a dream home for her miracle twins. That's when her ex-boyfriend showed up, and everything fell apart. "Twins?" He looked bewildered. "We broke up 4 months ago when I caught you faking pregnancy tests." He stared at her supposed baby bump. "And you're claiming to be 6 months pregnant?" My sister burst into tears, perfectly timed for her live stream. "How dare you harass a pregnant woman? My followers won't stand for this." Her 200,000 followers indeed started flooding his social media with hate messages. But he was prepared. He pulled out his phone and played a video. My sister admitting to the fake pregnancy scam and bragging about the house scheme. "Mom's lawyer friend is helping us force him out," her voice said clearly. "We just need a few more deposit payments from potential buyers." That lawyer turned out to be a disbarred attorney who'd helped my mother with previous scams. He'd been forging documents and collecting deposits for $50,000, in both cases, sending my mother utter flowers for generations and over $300,000 in total from desperate house hunters. The magazine reporter, sensing a better story, started recording everything. See, my mother tried damage control. She pulled out more documents, a fake medical diagnosis claiming I was unstable, a forged letter from my father about wanting my sister to have the house, even a fabricated DNA test suggesting I wasn't really his son. "Check the cameras," I said quietly. "But cameras." I opened my laptop. The footage was damning. There was my mother, sneaking in 2 days after Dad's death to plant forged documents. There she was giving tours to multiple buyers, collecting cash deposits in envelopes. And there was my sister, showing her friend how she stuffed her fake pregnancy belly with expensively stolen throw pillows, laughing about how her followers believed anything. The real estate agents scattered. The moving company promised double payment to force me out, called the police themselves. The magazine reporter's live coverage was going viral. But my father's files held the biggest bombshell. His private investigators had uncovered my mother's nationwide fraud network. She'd run similar scams in 12 states, using different identities. Sometimes she posed as a grieving widow, sometimes as a cancer patient's sister. She'd collected deposits on houses she didn't own, investment funds for fake businesses, and insurance payments for staged injuries. My sister wasn't just following in her footsteps. She'd modernized the family business. Her social media empire was built on lies, fake pregnancies, fictional illnesses, even a staged kidnapping. She'd collected hundreds of thousands in support donations and sponsorship money. The police arrived to find my mother desperately deleting security footage and my sister frantically editing her Instagram posts. Too late, her followers had recorded everything. The live stream hit 200,000 viewers as it all unraveled. What happened next went beyond anything I could have imagined. The FBI got involved because of the interstate fraud. They found storage units in 3 states filled with evidence, fake documents, disguises, prosthetic pregnancy bellies, and lists of potential victims. My mother had been running these scams for over 20 years. My sister's influencer empire imploded spectacularly. Her followers created compilation videos exposing her contradictions, even doing deals at each pregnancy, selling her outside of menstruation scans, recycled ultrasound photos, even footage of her baby bump falling out during a yoga live stream. Companies demanded their sponsorship money back. 7 ex-boyfriends came forward with similar stories of pregnancy scams. The disbarred lawyer flipped on them completely, providing evidence of 52 other scams they'd run together. The real estate agents faced their own charges. Even my sister's personal trainer turned out to be an actor, hired to make her workout videos look legitimate. During the FBI raid of my mother's house, they found a detailed diary. It revealed she'd been planning this house scam since her divorce. She'd spent years building a network of corrupt real estate agents, forgers, and even a fake title company. My sister's social media career was designed specifically to build credibility for this moment. The court proceedings were a media circus. My mother tried claiming temporary insanity. My sister blamed everything on pregnancy hormones until 3 separate doctors confirmed she wasn't and had never been pregnant. Their lawyer quit mid-trial when he discovered they were trying to scam him too. Journalists uncovered more victims: an elderly couple who lost their retirement savings to my mother's investment opportunity, a cancer patient my sister had impersonated for donations, 3 families who'd paid deposits on houses my mother never owned. My aunt, my mother's sister, came forward with shocking revelations. This behavior started in high school, where my mother would fake injuries to get out of tests and scam classmates out of lunch money. She'd even faked her own kidnapping to get out of a bad date, charging the boy's parents ransom money. The sentencing was harsh. My mother got 15 years for multiple fraud charges, conspiracy, and interstate wire fraud. My sister got 8 years, plus orders to repay over $500,000 in fraudulent donations and sponsorship money. But the most satisfying moment came when I found my father's final video message. "Son," he said, "by now you've seen what they really are. Your mother never understood that this house isn't about money. It's about legacy, about building something real in a world full of fakes. I spent years gathering evidence, knowing they'd try this. Keep the house, build your own family here, and definitely keep the cameras." I did keep the cameras. They've come in handy, like last week when my mother's prison friend tried breaking in wearing a utility worker's uniform. My sister, now in prison, started a prison reform advocate blog using a smuggled phone. She's claiming to be pregnant with triplets again. The guards confiscated her pillow-stuffed jumpsuit. The house is still mine. The gardens my father built are blooming. Those security cameras are still running, protecting the real legacy he left behind. Not just a house, but a lesson about truth in a world of lies. Death date. My mother just got caught running a dating scam from prison, convincing male pen pals she has terminal cancer and needs money for treatment. My sister's trying to sell her prison pregnancy journey story to reality TV producers. Some people never learn, but at least now they're doing it behind bars. Final update. Just discovered Dad left identical evidence packages with 3 different lawyers, 2 banks, and a safety deposit box. He even predicted in writing exactly how they'd try to fake the documents. The old man knew them better than they knew themselves.